Okay, good afternoon everyone, welcome back. So, you all may know, so half of the class will be studying through the online platform and the other half will be meeting me at the school. So for those of you who are in the online class right now, we'll be going on to chapter 7, the service is great. And this should be on page 16 of your student book. So one quick announcement. So when I tell you to complete certain activities, if I tell you to write it down in your notebook, please do so, because I'll be checking your notebook when we come back and we'll see each other, okay? Right. Time this a bit. Okay. So we'll go on to the first part of the chapter 7, the service is great. We're still on about the restaurant and food kind of arena, and then we'll go on from somewhere from it. So for the vocabulary, the first word is cafe. So it's actually a loan word, not a truly English word. So a cafe is like this. You can grab coffee, you can grab a bit of cake or bakery. So this is a cafe. Snack bar. Snack bar. So a snack bar is something that you can buy, grab some snacks or some soft drink. Yeah, back here is a soft drink. Or soda. However you want to call it. And I'm pretty sure all of you have seen a snack bar before. So in front of the movie theater, before you go in to the cinema, you would see a snack bar where you can grab popcorns, you can grab some soft drinks, you can grab some snacks to go in and eat in the movie theater. The third word is buffet, restaurant. So the word buffet, we don't really pronounce a T, so we don't say buffet, we say buffet. So buffet restaurant is kind of like this, where you can just go grab and go, and you can choose whatever you want. It's more, or sometimes you call the buffet restaurant all you can eat. The next one is fast food restaurant. So I think this one, all of you know what it is. So for example, McDonald's here is very popular, Burger King. Chick-fil-A, I don't think a lot of you know this brand because it hasn't come to Thailand yet. Chick-fil-A is in the United States. And the other fast food restaurants like the pizza restaurants, so for example, the Pizza Hut, or a company, so and like Wendy's and things like that, those are fast food restaurants. The next one is food cart. So yes, you have the food plus the word cart. These are everywhere in Thailand, so very delicious as well. So I think many years ago there should be like food carts in front of the schools. We sometimes call it food stall, so you can use both food cart and food store. So usually food cart, you just buy and go, you could grab and go, but some food carts do have tables for you to sit and be more of like a restaurant-ish. The next word is cafeteria. So cafeteria, as you can see here, this one is a university cafeteria or a hospital cafeteria, so I'm not quite sure. So a cafeteria is usually found in the workplace, so a kind of a workplace of cafeteria, a school cafeteria, university or college cafeteria, or maybe like organizations or cafeteria, like the hospital's cafeteria. So this is a cafeteria. Right. The next one, pretty similar to cafeteria, but this one you usually found in the shopping malls. So food court. For example, this one, Food Republic, or there are many out there, Food Park. So this is a food court, and you usually find it in the shopping mall or in department store. The next word is fine dining restaurant. So fine dining restaurants, I want you to think of the Michelin star restaurant. Those are fine dining restaurants. So fine dining restaurants are usually quite pricey, so they're very expensive. And for example, this one is the Rocco. It's a rooftop restaurant, and this would be a fine dining restaurant. So fine dining restaurant. Now, for the next part, so we're still in the vocabulary part. So for A, I want you to answer the question. So do you eat at these places very often? Rank them from 1, most often, to 8, least often. So for example, if I always eat at buffet restaurants, I will rank buffet restaurant as number 1. Okay, and for part B, I would just want you to rehearse the conversation, and for this activity I'll give you, I think, 2 minutes to complete. Alright, so for example, I could just rank, I'll just go by the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no right or wrong answers for this one because it's just you, what's true for you. But for B, I would say, for example, I eat at fine dining restaurant least often. And then your friend may say, really, I eat at cafe least often, so where do you eat least often? So you can change this one. If you start with least like I do, you can change it to where do you eat most often? So you could ask 2 questions. So where do you eat least often? Where do you eat most often? Now we'll continue on to the next part. For this one, you don't need to write the 2 extra sentences. There are no 2 extra sentences in this one. But what I want you to do is to answer this question. What does the pink peppercorn serve? So the questions just mean what do they serve, or what can you order at the pink peppercorn. The second question is, what doesn't Sarah like about the restaurant? For this one, you don't have to write it in your notebook. I'm pretty sure there should be enough space in the student book for you to just squeeze down your answer. Okay, so for this one, I'll let you listen to the audio twice. Let me find track number 17.
Lesson 7. The service is great. Page 16. Conversation. A. Listen. What does the pink peppercorn serve? What doesn't Sarah like about the restaurant?
So, what are you in the mood for? Have you tried that new restaurant near the subway station? You mean the pink peppercorn? Yeah, that's the one. No, I haven't yet. What's it like? It's pretty good. They serve a lot of curries and noodle dishes, and their prices are reasonable. Most of the dishes cost about $10. That's pretty good. What's the service like? The service is really slow, but otherwise it's a nice place. I think I'll try it.
Now for the second time.
Lesson 7. The service is great. Page 16. Conversation. A. Listen. What does the pink peppercorn serve? What doesn't Sarah like about the restaurant?
So, what are you in the mood for? Have you tried that new restaurant near the subway station? You mean the pink peppercorn? Yeah, that's the one. No, I haven't yet. What's it like? It's pretty good. They serve a lot of curries and noodle dishes, and their prices are reasonable. Most of the dishes cost about $10. That's pretty good. What's the service like? The service is really slow, but otherwise it's a nice place. I think I'll try it.
Very well. So to answer the first question, let me change it here. What does the pink peppercorn serve? So Sarah here said they serve a lot of curries and noodle dishes. Right? So pink peppercorn serve curries and noodles dishes. So you can order curries and noodle dishes at the pink peppercorn. Such a nice name. Now for question number 2, what doesn't Sarah like about the restaurant? As you can see here, Sarah said that the service is really slow. So she doesn't like the speed of the service. So she thinks the service is really slow. Now let's look at the conversation in bold. So Kit said, you mean the pink peppercorn. And what does that mean? Or another way that you can kind of rephrase this sentence is that, are you talking about the pink peppercorn? And it'll be exactly the same thing. So you can say, you mean the pink peppercorn, or are you talking about the pink peppercorn? Now the next phrase is a sentence, and their prices are reasonable. This is a very good word. So when you said that the prices are reasonable, it just means that the prices aren't bad. So you can replace it by and the prices aren't bad. So for the serving that you get, or for the quality of food that you get, the price is okay. So it doesn't mean that it's cheap, it doesn't mean that it's expensive. For example, if you pay 100 baht for a curry rice, and then you feel full and it tastes good, and you would say it's quite reasonable. But if you pay 100 baht and you got very small portion, just little, then you would say the prices aren't reasonable. Okay, the next one is that's pretty good. So that's pretty good. You can also say that sounds great. That sounds good, that sounds great, that sounds wonderful. Pretty much have the same meaning. Now the next one, the service is really slow, but otherwise it's a nice place. So the word otherwise is very important. So what she means is that if the service were to be faster, or the service fast enough, this place would be a very nice place. So you can, alternative way of saying this, you can say that the service isn't so great, but it's worth a try. So worth a try, I mean you just go and try it. There's nothing to lose for trying it. Okay, so it's worth a try. You just go on and try it. Very well. Now we'll be moving on to the next part. Describing restaurant. As you can see from the previous conversation, there are different ways that you can describe the restaurant. So for example, you can describe, or you can talk about the food. So the food itself. So for example, you can say the food is, if it's really, really good, you can say the food is fantastic. So fantastic would be like 5 stars. Or you think that the food is pretty good. So that would be a 4 stars. Or you can say the food is okay. It's just okay. So that would be around 3 stars. What else? Okay or so-so. But if you think the food is really, really bad, it tastes awful, you can say the food is bad or awful. Awful as well, actually. So that would be like 1 star. Okay? And you can also talk about what do they serve. So what does the restaurant serve? So for example, you can just say they serve, and you just fill it in. For example, you go to you go to Bonchon. I think I'll give you a Bonchon. So you can say they serve fried chickens and Korean food. For example, I would say, oops, sorry. Oh dear, it's fine. So for part 2, I can say Bonchon serves fried chicken and Korean dishes. Okay, that's the second part. Now for the third one, you can describe the price. So if it's pricey or not, or if the price is reasonable, for example. So for you can say the prices are expensive. So this would be $3 signs. Or you can say the price is reasonable. So maybe $2 signs, it could be 3, but it's worth the price. Or you can say the price is fairly cheap. Let's just put it here. So it's affordable. Yeah, it's very cheap. You can also describe it by the customers that come in. For example, I can say this restaurant is very popular with young children. So who are their customers? So young children are, for example, like many fast food restaurants like KFC, things like that. Young children love them. So this restaurant is very popular with young children. You can also describe it by the service. So the service quality. For example, you can say that the service is great. It's really good. The service is, what else can you say? The service is okay. Or you can say the service is slow. So that would be bad. So you don't want to just sit and wait for 10 minutes before a waiter or waitress come to your table. You can also describe it by the atmosphere. Oh, that's a good word. So the atmosphere is the ambience around you. So how does the restaurant decorate it? How does it make you feel? So I can say that this restaurant has a warm and cozy atmosphere. That's my favorite. It's warm and cozy atmosphere. So the lighting is not too hot. It's just warm and cozy atmosphere. So there are different ways that you can describe restaurants, and this is just one of the ways that I'll just show you. Now, let's look at the examples in the student book. So for example here, you can say that you can describe it by the food. For example, the food is fantastic, really, really good, pretty good, so-so, or you can say the food is bad. Now, you can describe a restaurant by the food they serve. For here, they serve a lot of curries and noodle dishes. You can also describe it by the prices, so you can say the prices are expensive, very pricey, reasonable, fair price, or fairly cheap, so you break your piggy bank for it. Okay, so there's expensive, reasonable, and fairly cheap. Now the next one is by the customers. It attracts a lot of office workers at lunch. Attracts mean that there are lots of office workers coming in at lunch, or it's very popular with office workers during lunchtime. The next one is the service is really great, or you can say the service really slow, or you can say the service okay. So it's not bad, it's not good, it's okay. The next one is atmosphere. So you can say that it has a fun atmosphere. Which restaurant has a fun atmosphere? I can't think of it. Or you can say it has a relaxed atmosphere. So it's pretty chill, like most cafe day. So you can describe it in different ways. So as I say, you can describe it as a warm atmosphere, it has a cozy atmosphere. So there are different ways that you can describe the restaurant. Now, what I want you to do is to take time describing your favorite restaurant. Use the words below. This one you don't need to write. You can just kind of think of your favorite restaurant and see how would you describe it, okay? So we'll be moving on to the next part. The next part is the listening. So for the listening, what I want you to do is to listen. For the first one, so 2 people are discussing a restaurant. Number the things from 1 to 5 in the order you hear them. So, for example, if they talk about the location first, you number the location as number 1. And if they talk about the prices second, you put prices at number 2. And if they talk about the service last, I want you to put number 5 on the service. Okay. Track number 18.
Page 17. Listening. A and B. Number 1.
They've done a nice job with the decoration.
I like the colors.
So do I. And the music is good. It's not too loud.
I hate restaurants with loud, noisy music. You can't hear yourself think.
I know. This place feels really relaxed.
Number 2.
But it's too bad it's so far.
Yeah, it's not near anything.
I heard it's hard to get space downtown.
I don't think many customers will come here.
I agree. It takes too long to get here.
Number 3.
The menu looks really good.
Where do we start? Some of the chicken dishes look nice.
They're famous for their seafood.
Oh yeah? I see they have octopus.
I've never tried that. Oh, I can't decide.
Number 4.
But I think they need to hire more people.
I agree. The servers are really busy. They need 1 or 2 more.
And our server made a mistake with our meal. That's not good.
She didn't even know the menu very well.
Yeah. She couldn't answer many questions.
Number 5.
Wow! Our bill is only $29.
That's very reasonable.
A new restaurant can't charge too much.
I know. Or they won't get much business.
I hope they're making money at least.
Alright, now we'll be looking at the answers. So for, turn off the video. Okay, so for the first thing that they talk about is the atmosphere. So how is the restaurant decorated, the music, and how does it make you feel? The second one is the location, so where the restaurant is. The third one is the food, so the food on the menu. Number 4, I'm pretty sure is the service. And number 5, the prices. And now I want you to listen again. I want you to mark positive meaning good, or negative meaning bad, for the opinion you hear about each thing. So if they said the atmosphere is good, you put the plus sign in front of the atmosphere.
Page 17. Listening. A and B. Number 1.
They've done a nice job with the decoration.
I like the colors.
So do I. And the music is good. It's not too loud.
I hate restaurants with loud, noisy music. You can't hear yourself think.
I know. This place feels really relaxed.
Number 2.
But it's too bad it's so far.
Yeah, it's not near anything.
I heard it's hard to get space downtown.
I don't think many customers will come here.
I agree. It takes too long to get here.
Number 3.
The menu looks really good.
Where do we start? Some of the chicken dishes look nice.
They're famous for their seafood.
Oh yeah? I see they have octopus.
I've never tried that. Oh, I can't decide.
Number 4.
But I think they need to hire more people.
I agree. The servers are really busy. They need 1 or 2 more.
And our server made a mistake with our meal. That's not good.
She didn't even know the menu very well.
Yeah. She couldn't answer many questions.
Number 5.
Wow! Our bill is only $29.
That's very reasonable.
A new restaurant can't charge too much.
I know. Or they won't get much business.
I hope they're making money at least.
Okay, very well. Now we'll be looking at the answer. Okay. So for the first one, atmosphere, is positive. So they say the atmosphere is nice, the music is not too loud, the atmosphere is quite relaxed. Now number 2, number C here, the location, this says negative. And the reason why the location is not very convenient. But they say because it's in the town centre, so it's quite difficult to find a decent location for your restaurant. Now the third one, the food, this is positive because there are so many interesting things on the menu. Now for the service, they discuss this quite negative because the service is slow, there are not enough servers, and the servers got the order incorrectly. Now for the last one, the price, they're generally quite positive, so they said that the prices are reasonable. It's only $29, and that is considered fairly cheap for 2 people in the restaurant. Okay? Now we'll be moving on to the next part. So this one is your activities, and this one, if you don't get the kind of activity booklet yet, I want you to kind of write it down on your notebook. So if you haven't, in case you don't have your activity booklet yet, please write it down in your notebook. You don't need to copy the questions. You just need to write, for example, part 1, and you just write the answer down. For example, I would say 6 and then A, because I think cafe is not very expensive, and I think cafe foods are the most delicious, so you just write it down. For part 2, you just write part 2 and you just write your answer. For example, I would say the food at where should I make? Let's see, the food at Bonchon. We'll just go with Bonchon. Is really great. Okay. So for number 1, I'll just reiterate. So the first part in this one, in the blue, I want you to rank it from the most expensive being number 1 to the least expensive being number 8. There's no right or wrong answer, okay? So don't worry about it. You shouldn't be go searching anything. And for the second line, so the second half here, I want you to rank it by the taste. So A is the most delicious, dash is the least delicious. So just write it down. Don't worry about it. There's no right or wrong answer. And now for part 2, I want you to complete the sentences. So this is your own opinion. It's your own opinion. So you can just write whatever that you want, okay? Now for the part 3, I want you to look at the chart and answer the questions. And then in class, compare. Well, you're not in class, you don't need to compare. So there are 2 restaurants there, the Four Seasons New York City, and there the Hard Rock Cafe in New York City. And you need to answer some questions. So the first one is, which restaurant prices are more reasonable? So in this case, it usually means which restaurants' prices are cheaper. Number 2, what kind of food can you eat at the restaurant? So, for example, Japanese cuisine, Thai cuisine, yada yada yada. And number 3, which restaurant do you want to eat at? This is your own opinion. Number 3, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so I just want you to complete it. And for the next one, I would say I'll give you, how many minutes should I give you? I'll give you 15 minutes to complete the task, and then we'll come back and look at a few answers. Alright? Right, welcome back everyone. So we'll take a look at the answers for part 3. So for part 1 and 2, since they are your own opinions, they're not right and wrong, so don't worry. And then I'll take a look at it when you bring the notebook to me. So for part 2, look at the chart. Now we'll read each one in details, okay? So the first restaurant, okay. The first one is the Four Seasons, New York City. And the price range is from $80 to $100. The second one is the Hard Rock Cafe in New York City as well. And the price is $20 and under, so it means cheaper than $20. So which restaurant prices are more reasonable? So you can say Hard Rock Cafe Portofrias prices are more reasonable, of course, $20 and under. So $20 would be around $650, around there, and $80 to $100 would be around $2,600 to $3,200 baht. Okay, so of course, Hard Rock Cafe's prices are more reasonable. Number 2, what kind of food can you eat at the restaurant? So you can say, you can eat American cuisine at both restaurants. So as you can see, the Four Seasons New York City serve American cuisine as well, but a fine American cuisine, so elevated. And Hard Rock Cafe also serve American cuisine. Okay. And in the next box is actually the details. For example, the Four Seasons have 2 dining rooms, and many famous people often eat there. And the Hard Rock Cafe is near Times Square, so for a city center, and there are rock and roll records, CDs and clothes around the restaurant. So for example, I could say, I want to eat at the Four Seasons because I want to see famous people. Or I can say, I want to eat at Hard Rock Cafe because the prices are reasonable. So you can choose either, and then your reason doesn't have to be the same as mine. So you can say, I want to eat at Hard Rock Cafe because I love rock and roll. So it can be anything, okay? So that will be it for our online lesson. So I'll see you soon. Thank you everyone, and please stay safe.